Welcome to the second segment of the GTR Breakfast Show, where we delve into matters that concern you from politics, social, entertainment, and business as well. Before our guests come in, we'd like to talk about more interesting topics, not just interesting, topics that are of concern to the citizen. And I have right here in the studio Miss Regina Bless, who is joining me to bisect and dissect the issues. So what do we have here? Let's go into it. So the U.S. Attorney's Office appreciated IOCO, the Ghana Police, the Cyber Security Authority, NACOC, BNI, and FBI Legal Attaché Office in Accra for their cooperation in securing Abu Trika's arrest and extradition. Now let's look at this. The previous government of Ghana told us, that is United States, they cannot support U.S. extradite the people involved in romance scam. The U.S. does not apologize and compensate Africa for the transatlantic slave trade. So that was from the U.S. Attorney General. So this whole issue is stemming from the extradition of Abu Trika from Ghana to the U.S. based on the issues of romance scam. Now, it was revealed that he has scammed people, or these, about 80 plus of them. And then this is what it is. Extraditing him from Ghana to US was so easy. But during the previous administration, the then president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, said, we are not going to extradite anybody from this country to the US. And that is because they wanted them to compensate us based on the transatlantic slave trade. And so if you really paid key attention during the administration of the previous government, it was quite difficult. There was no constant cases of extraditing any Ghanaian to any foreign land. And that is because the former president place a request on the table, and that request has to do with, till you compensate us, we are not extraditing any of our members from this country to your country. But here is it, this current administration, I think they are dealing with this issue from upside down to the top. So right now we have Abu Trika being extradited from Ghana to US, and then people are saying that, listen, does that mean that the current administration was good enough? Does that mean that President Akufo-Addo was quiet? I don't want to use any word that would diminish any administration, but then does that mean that the previous government led by Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo was very tactical? Because as it stands now, we have Ken Oforiatta in US, and then we want him back here, but looking at the process, it was so tiring. And as it stands now, Ken Oforiatta is still in US. But in the case of Abu Trika, he is there. He is there. And the process are ongoing. We are yet to know whether he will be, definitely, there will be a jail term. But then, let me go to my panelists, Miss Regina Bless, to tell us more. You're welcome, Miss Regina Bless.
Thank you.
Does that mean that the former president was very tactical and was quite difficult to overcome than this current government and even the president we have? Does that mean that President Mahama is kind of, should I say, very calm when it has to do with issues like this? Or is it that he's scared?
Because I know President John Dramani Mahama to be a man who is not scared. He says the issue as it is. Now, with this brouhaha going on between the past administration and this current administration, with this brouhaha going on between the past administration and this current administration. With the past administration, looking at the comments, one person said, "You never know what is protecting you until that protected vest is taken off." And it made me realize a whole lot of things we didn't really see during the past administration. Excuse me. In as much as the past administration really showed us shaggy, in a way they protected us. Because if this is what the US Attorney General is saying, then it means Nana Addo had the interest of his people. Because tell me why this individuals or this nation disrespected African as a country or African as a whole, and you expect us, the same people, to still extradite our people to your country so that they would face their jail sentence. Tell me how it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm beginning to see him in a new light. I'm beginning to see Nana Addo in a new light. Exactly. And as we said initially, he's a man of his words. He's a mafia man. He's a lawyer. He knows his rights. It's just, in fact, let's step it down to normal daily activities. It's like I'm not in good talking terms with you. Then you tell me that, Debbie, no, you tell me that, Reggie, give me your phone.
For what?
For what? Would I give it to you?
No.
The way I even look at you, be like, hey, I will not give it to you. So I think this is a practical example. A practical example we were failing to see. So I think Nana Addo did a very good job. We wanted an apology, and I think John Dramani Mahama came and organized a whole trade Atlantic your friend is saying is it dialogue? Yes, dialogue between almost all these countries. So should we say probably that is a stepping stone to why he gave out not give out he should I say give out the permission for Abu Chika to be extradited? Because I know that in as much as everyone works independently, they cannot extradite someone without the consent of the office of the president. I don't know how that is really valid, but that is what I know. So Nana Addo, thank you very much that you protected the people. Now finally, what past president Nana Addo was looking for has finally been granted, because most of these countries have started coming out one after the other to apologize for this Atlantic slave trade. So most of these countries are not seeing the slave trade to be a big deal, but it is a very big deal, where current President Donald Trump even called blacks, excuse me to say, shitholes. It was very disgusting for a leader to say that. It tells us how Africans are being disrespected. The moment you have a different color, people will tend to disrespect you, especially if you find yourself within the midst of the whites. We've seen instances where our children, our siblings are being brutalized in this Western world, all in the name of being black. We've seen instances where some of these kids are dying and nothing is being done about it. We've seen instances where when these kids die, instead of the administration in that country or the institution where that child died, instead of them to reach out and give reasonable explanation, they tend to cover things up. Just last week, a story about a black guy in the midst of 4 whites came up, where they all went once a sample funny, they have this huge beaches where they use the yacht, yes, where they went there, and in the midst of the outing, this black guy saw a white lady, and he went to approach. So they never came back with the boy again. And they asked them, where is the boy? They said that when they were in the boat, the boy saw a white lady and he went to approach the white lady, leaving his phone behind. And he never came back. You know perfectly well, said you not come back and you left your phone behind. Sometimes the story they tell us doesn't make sense. And with this young boy, and with this communion one, I don't know if you heard of the story. I've forgotten his name. He died in is it Latvia or a country like that. And also, so he was being brutalized, but they came out to tell us that the boy committed suicide. Where he even sent messages to his mom that this is what he's facing. So we have a role to play as Ghanaians also, especially with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They really have a major role to play in protecting the people out there, especially the blacks. But Akoya said they are protecting, but the protection is not good enough. We shouldn't wait for a catastrophe to happen to a point where someone loses his or her life. See, we've had several scenarios and instances where these black kids are dying, even if it's not from Ghana, we have other countries. When you go to this Western world, these blacks are always being picked. They are always being bullied.
Look at what is happening. No, even in South Africa, it's a normal people.
It's a normal people. So you see, the whites have leverage over us because as we ourselves co-Africans, we are not even calling ourselves.
Unity.
Exactly, there is no unity. There should be unity between all of us. So there be omunya upper hand over us. If they do one thing, they will be like, even your fellow African guy is not protecting or it's not even supporting you. How much more we? So the change starts from us ourselves. All the African people, it starts from us. We are all Africans. We are one people. In fact, with the Western world, so we are humans. We are all one people. Blood flows between us. And your gold and flowing in the blood of this Western people. It is blood. When you cut them, you see blood. So why are we being treated differently? There are some countries you dare not go as a black person. Because they will kill you. You are being seen as a threat. The moment you get there, you are already being targeted. See, the movies we've been watching when it comes to this Western world is a reality of what they are living there. South African country is a nice country, but it's a dangerous country to live in. Very. I never knew that is their reality until these xenophobic attacks.
Because if you watch their movies,
their movies, they can just take the gun and just kill anyone in the clear road. Police, but still, it shows that is the reality people are living in. When it comes to peace is not expensive. Peace is very cheap, but it becomes expensive the very moment we violate that peace. You can't buy peace anywhere.
No.
Look at some of the countries facing war each and every day. They wish their country was peaceful. Even got to a point where we were hearing threat messages being channeled to Ghana. Some people gave prophecies that Ghana is too much peaceful, so very soon they'll be targeting Ghana. Ghanaians need to protect their own, and Nana-Addo in a way proved that he has really protected us, but we were blind. We were blind not to see that. But that is not the only thing we needed of him as a leader. We needed a lot of things. So that's alone, it is a score, but shouldn't be 100% score. So I think he did well. If Nana-Addo was still in government, Abuchika wouldn't have been extradited because Nana-Addo wanted an apology.
But the thing is, this thing called romance scam, is it good in the first place?
Looking at this romance scam, it's not good. It only becomes good when the romance is genuine. But here lies the case: the romance itself is not genuine. That is why it has scam attached to it. So I can come in the form of a genuine person. I really love you, but I don't love you. I'm just there for your money. And after getting the money 1 or 2 times, that is it. I vanish. And most of these romance scam, these individuals don't go with their normal selves.
Right.
Looking at the case of Haja for real, she went with her normal self.
Yes.
Because she was a lady and she's beautiful, and most of these men are attracted to that. So it was easy for her to be targeted. But now in the issue of this man, Abu Chika, the romance scam, it can be in 2 phases. Either he's scamming only women. So if he's scamming only the women, probably he went with this natural face. But if he's scamming men, it means there's another person behind that. Oba fufra onodi nenimko. You get me?
Okay.
So it means, how would I put it?
So they have
He doesn't
a
do it
female
alone.
counterpart.
Exactly. A female counterpart who would be doing the talking. I remember the day I went to in Kwanta, Mankesim area. There's something in Kwanta, and I went to meet a guy there. So he was into fraud. I didn't know. So he took my number. He was like, he likes how I speak the English. So when I got to Accra and he texted me, he said he wants to give me some logins, and I said okay. WhatsApp logins, and I said okay. So I logged into his WhatsApp business.
Okay.
So in that WhatsApp business, my dear, you know me, I'm very inquisitive. I'm not saying I want to know what is there. I was like, oh, feel free. He was like, can you keep a secret? I was like, oh, I can keep a secret. I can keep a secret. I entered, my dear, the number of men he's talking to. And most of these messages have been left unread because most of these people are requesting for video calls, are requesting for voice calls. So if you're a man and you're scamming a man, how do you intend to talk to that man? You can't talk to that man. That moment, the man will know that you're a scammer.
Yeah.
So I actually talked to one. Masa, Enfa. Hey, I said, hold on. I hear what you're saying.
I can say.
So that was how I got to really understand what they were really doing. He explained to me. All they need is gift card. Though. So that gift card will generate, they'll sell that gift card and it will generate into money for them.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes millions of cedis. So boom mawa. Which mean they establish. But I thought that some people do it bit by bit to gain the trust of these people. So romance scam is a very bad thing in our community. And looking at Ghana and Nigeria, these two countries, romance scam
yes, especially Nigeria.
See, when you watch Nigerian movies, there's a movie I watched where they have a whole romance scam school for romance scam. You come, they teach you how to be doing things. They have an AI app where it can generate a woman for you, for a woman to be talking to that client. But the woman talking to the client is AI. And I sometimes wonder how these people are not smart. Because there's no way this person can be having a lengthy conversation with you. They are not smart. So Nigerians and Ghanaians, some people say FBI, brothers and sisters, FBI for Baha and Nigeria, they'll arrest almost everyone. Because almost all the youth are indulging it. The person is in a corporate world, but is still indulge while fair no as a
side business job. Yes. So you see, sometimes I tend to ask myself, I'm not trying to intrude, but I tend to ask myself, I know we have computer gurus, and I know we have people that are so into computers. So the person can, the whole day the person is and on the computer, like people who are into computer engineering, cyber security, and all that. They work solely with the computer. But you see, a young boy, a young youth will tell you that Miye Juma, and you ask the person which kind of work do they do, they're not able to explain to you, but then they tell you that they work on the computer, and this they can sit on the computer the whole day. You don't even see them out, but when they come out, the kind of posh car that goes out with. So I then asking myself, why is it always the other way? Why is it only US? Can't they, I mean, fraud people in their own country, or they feel like in their own country they can be easily caught, or the men there are not rich enough?
Defraud who? In this country? Master, you look at the economy, you want to defraud who? You see, I channel. You
So it
come
is
to
difficult.
defraud us. So the defrauding here, it is going on, but it is not really that high compared to the African
Okay.
plus the Western world.
Does it mean that they are more richer?
They are more richer now. They are more rich, and looking at the rates, so when you $100, $200, you at least you have something on you, something you can start with. But I had no be 2,000 now as any 2 months pay and as any 3 months pay, and no be 2,000. You get me? And looking at the the aspect of Ghanaians, the little they can defraud humans, as is this 500,000
From your momo.
300 from your momo, and we have people who have started defrauding their own family members.
Really?
Some of them say their uncle is
It's
very
rich.
stingy.
Okay.
And in this institution here, in fact, in this surrounding, I've seen some before, where this person came to me to tell me to talk to this uncle, and I was like, your uncle? And he said, yes, his uncle. His uncle has money, but he's very stingy.
So
I should talk to the person. I was like, I'm sorry. Actually, uncle,
yeah, accomplice.
I can't do that. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And looking at the caliber of the person can't even be trusted. Actually, uncle, no do din them. Saying I read chip one, mammy, yes, say you, that you. Yes, sir. So they can't really defraud each other here in the country because their target is high. The amount of money they want is very high. And I think to the bank institutions also, I had a friend who was not into scamming,
Okay.
but he had a white lady. So I say Obani sending Nisikano each and every time. And so sending money be no akakoyi. So I needed an amount of money. He promised he would get it for me. But he got there, they arrested him. They thought that he was a scammer because he was scamming
Like
each
he was
and every
cashing
time.
out.
Oba each and every time. And the name that brings the money is not a bibinindi, a bronyindi. So they
Foreigner.
thought he was a scammer
Oh.
scamming that person. So they had to call
The lady.
to find
Confirm.
out, and he was like, oh, that is the man. That one crumple still no more doubting. So the banks here, sometimes they are tactical, but sometimes they are not tactical. And I think to most of the, should I use women? Because women are many brisk. They should be very careful. Because I've had someone who says, I'm in from a bank account in Manu. Now, being sent this country to me, same patch Debbie. Because the moment you do that, you become an accomplice.
Yeah.
And when you become an accomplice in a fraud case, so far as your bank account is there, my dear,
Whether you spend the money or not.
nothing you will say that will liberate you from that. Unless God comes from heaven to come and save you. And so to the ladies, they need to be very careful with who you give your bank account to. And you'll be also send this so. Even with a normal momo, my momo has been blocked before because they thought I was a scammer. It got to a point I was receiving money. I had to go there and tell them that I'm not a fraud. Hey, you see, when it comes to this merchant sim, they know there's a merchant sim. So for that, you'll be receiving
it's
money
normal.
each and every time. But a normal personal momo, it gets dangerous. So scamming is dangerous, and the youth shouldn't indulge in it.
Okay.
when we say that it is the fault of the government, that is why they are indulging in fraud, we are finding excuses for their lazy asses. Because you can get up and go find yourself something. Looking at Nigeria put their bobo. Nigeria, I must say to Nigeria,
but they are creative too.
They are creative, but nothing is there. Nothing is there. It's like they are living in a desert, so dry.
Well, what of this dating sites that usually pops up on your FYP, where you see someone coming into your DM that they are a mediator for between foreigners and then Africans, so they're white and a black. That is, if you want to marry a foreigner, they try to link you up and all that. How true is that? Is that not also part of the romance scam issue? Is it also a factor?
Okay, so with that one, it is not really a factor, because the dating app was automatically and 100% created for people who want to find love. So when you go to this dating apps, when you are setting up your profile, it has rules you need to follow. So first off, there are some options there. Are you there for love? Are you there to mingle? Are you there for just communication? Are you there to just know each other? And are you there for flings? One time something, then you
are gone.
You are gone. So you tap on it, and I'm going to say, so be send WhatsApp messenger. What tap it? What tap it on the person's profile to check the name written there, to check the number there. Probably you know the person. So that is how the dating app is.
Okay.
Once and before you can even get access to someone on the dating app, both of you have to share something in common. So it's not like TikTok. You just go, no, you send the person hi. No, that person has to accept you. So I say, I need a man who is rich. I need a man who is tall. I need a man who is fair. You the man also needs someone who is tall. The man also needs someone who is fair. Both of you have same similarities.
Okay.
So the app itself automatically recommends this person to you. So when the person recommends, the app recommends it, you accept it. So there's a love emoji there that you tap on it. So when you tap on it, automatically it will write say you are compatible. So once you are compatible, you start texting with each other.
Okay.
So whilst texting with each other, you get to know each other. Say, oh, I'm here for this, I'm here for that, I'm here for that. So some people take it as far as dating very seriously and getting married. We see some on TikTok.
Yeah, we do.
Where some people will be like, I've dated this foreigner for 2 years. The person has now landed minds.
Yes,
2 years. I will not do. 2 years.
That is a diploma course, or maybe top up masters. Masters course.
2 years. Once you've not seen the person before.
Yes. A lot on TikTok.
You see those things. There is no way you will not send your nude. You will send it. That thing. There is no way you not send your nude. You will send it. They will be like they want to see you. And if you are someone now, dream if you over send it. Snapchat, they send it every day. These foreigners, these Philippines, this Iran people, they'll be sending you messages. Some of them out of the blue, they just even send their naked picture to you.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Oh,
and that is why most of these apps, I'm not that aside TikTok.
So for the dating app, dear, it's not really for romance scam.
Okay.
But some people use that in a way to scam people.
Yes. So they try to impersonate someone who is not real, and then they use that to fraud you. And sometimes these people are right here in Ghana. Yes, they are here in Ghana.
Something called VPN. The VPN sometimes changes their location. But if you are someone who is smart and you are really into technology, you can really track them down and know say more here.
Hey. Yeah. We saw an instance where this was just a normal one of the funny videos where the guy was talking to a lady, claiming he was outside, he was wearing the coat and everything, and someone was sprinkling powder
on him.
on him. He forgot himself and he was like, oh, the powder is too much. So please, you need to use common sense when it comes to issues like this, because trust me, even if they don't use people outside, they end up using your member of parliament. They end up using someone very known in society. They do that. And I remember they did one to me when I was in the university. I will never forget. They used my member of parliament. And they said they wanted to give me, was it scholarship or something? And you see, what made me realize that this person is known was that the person mentioned my dad's name. Yeah, so it means the person knows me. The person mentioned my dad's name and everything about my dad, and even told me the occupation of my dad. So it made me believe that this person is a known person, because my dad also have that kind of cordial relation with the member of parliament. So it's a known person. And the person told me that he wanted to do it as a surprise to my dad, so I shouldn't say it. And he needed an amount of money. Luckily enough that I wasn't having any money in my momo. The only money I was having was 30 cedis OJE.
And I was saying
OJE. After they taking the money, then they blocked me. But Mr. Become blocking me. So that one there. So please, you need to be very, very, very careful out there. In as much as we are all saying that unemployment is on rise, there are genuine work out there. If you settle down and then you go out, you will get something to do. It might not fetch much, but at least what to eat, where to lay your head wouldn't be difficult. So please, it is better to find yourself a genuine work that will fetch little than to get yourself a work through an illegal means. And then at the end of the day, see, this is a whole disgrace and embarrassment. If you ask me, it's a whole lot of things. This will be attached to your file wherever you go. He was once a scammer. Even if you've changed, that tag is still there. So please, let's be very, very careful and also cautious with the kind of people we chat on Facebook, Twitter, all the social apps, and especially the kind of groups you join. If you're not careful, sometimes that is why of late I've stopped using Telegram. Telegram, they can just add you to any group without your consent. Sometimes groups full of pawns and a whole lot, you've not asked the person. So please, we are begging you. And then I think the 2-step verification code is also important.
Very important.
You need to, before we leave this, Regina, you asked a question back to the extradition of a thing. You asked whether a government is aware of an accused person
being extradited.
So I've gotten something here, and I would like us to. So you generally cannot extradite someone from another country without that country's government, and ultimately it's the president or the head of state being involved. So which clearly shows that they seek the consent of the government, they seek the consent of all the relevant institutions like the BNI, like the YOKO, like all the investigative bodies. They seek their consent first before the person is being extradited. So we have something we call the treaty or the agreement. They have to be, so this happens under a bilateral extradition treaty, or sometimes based on reciprocity. So there is a bilateral something like agreement between the other country, say the US and maybe Ghana, before they can come for the person. And there is also a legal process. The requesting country submit a formal request through diplomatic channels to the other country's government or justice ministry. We saw that of Ken Ofori Atta, where there was a legal process. There was some form of a letter requesting, a form of letter from Ghana to the US, rather, because we want Ken Ofori Atta back here in the country. Then we have the executive approval. In most countries, the president, prime minister, or cabinet has to sign off on the final surrender, court in the country also review if it is legal. So the government does not just stand up and then act on an extradition letter. They will need to find out, they also need to delve into the issue before they give a final dot on that letter before that person can be extradited. And then we have no skipping the president. Even if police or agencies cooperate informally to legally hand a person over across borders, you need the whole state permission. Doing it without that is called rendition, and it's illegal under international law. Yes, so if you find out that, like that of Abu Trike's case, the U.S. did not just stand up, the agencies of the U.S. do not just stand up and then they came and assume no, it doesn't happen like that. He or she belongs to a country. And as much as you own your life, the country also owns you. If there is an issue today that must involve the state, they go ahead to look for the country where you are coming from. So they don't just go and then pick the person. They seek the permission from the state officials in that country, and that is where the head of states come in. That is where the president comes in, and that is where the relevant authorities or institutions also come in. So, Miss Regina, this is what I have for you. Hope you've gotten it right.
Yeah. So, okay. With one thing I also wanted to ask. I don't know if it is possible that we go on agreement. The US, they can't be trusted, but we know Ghanaians can be trusted, but because we can't define our words. If they need someone to be extradited from Ghana to the outside world, they need to make sure that if we also need someone to extradite, they need to bring the person in. What I'm saying, do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
They need to bring the person in before we can also send anyone they also need, because our government
yeah.
They should do it like that. I think the government official needs to take it into consideration.
Very necessary. Very,
it should
very.
be tit for tat.
Yes. It shouldn't be a case where one country seems very weak and is easy to take advantage of than the other country. When it happens like that, it means that all the time, just say, but you cannot retaliate back. And then it makes you kind of weak. Well, maybe, just maybe, the government is also, this is its own tactical way. We are hoping to, get the best out of this. Now, let's move to one sensitive issue I want us to talk about. And that is the Registrar of the Medical and Dental Council has disclosed that the council is currently investigating 31 disciplinary cases involving 46 medical practitioners, with nearly 2/3 of the complaints relating to allegations of medical negligence. He made the disclosure when members of Parliament Health Committee paid a working visit to the council to acquaint themselves with its regulatory and disciplinary work. So according to Dr. Divine Bayubala, data from the council shows that 64% of the cases before its disciplinary committee involves accusations of substandard or neglect medical practice. Currently, at the disciplinary level, we have a total of 31 cases involving 46 practitioners. In the court, we have 2 cases. At the High Court, 2 cases. At the Circuit Court, also 2 cases. We attended court 4 times during the second quarter, he stated, providing an overview of the council disciplinary activities. Dr. Divine said the council had received 35 new complaints in the first quarter of the year and 5 additional cases in the second quarter. During the period, 12 cases were considered, 2 were referred to the disciplinary committee, and 5 were concluded. He also disclosed that the council is conducting an undercover investigations into 1 case, but declined to provide details because investigations are still in progress. Beyond medical negligence, the registrar said the council also deals with practitioners convicted of criminal offences, explained that such convictions could result in a practitioner being struck off the medical register if they bring the profession into disrepute. So, Nititia, with what I just read, is that some of these medical practitioners or the deaths we record in most of these hospitals or the health complications in regards to the patient, 46% of those cases is being caused as a result of the negligence of some health practitioners. Yes. It is not as if that person died as a result of the illness that sent them there, but it is because what was supposed to be done by these medical practitioners were not being done at the right time. And so this happened. And then he also stated that some of the issues are under investigation, which they said they can't reveal it to the media till they are done with their investigation. So, Ms. Regina, do you agree with the Medical Dental Council team that most cases that we've seen of or heard, example has to do with the no bed syndrome and a whole lot of cases? I don't know whether you've experienced one before where maybe they are almost injecting you, getting you injected with, should I say a medicine, or prescribing to you a drug which does not have anything to do with the illness that sent you to the health center. I don't know whether you've experienced that before, but do you agree with them that this is true, that most of the deaths we record are not based on the illness, but rather the negligence of some of these health practitioners?
So, negligence of these health practitioners, I say that with some of these health facilities we have, some of these hospitals were built just to satisfy their dark desires, their evil desires. Not everyone is really interested in the medical field. Akwai say baba no obi wo ha akwa schedule na yese won fa nkofo hwimbra enye barbering shop me boka ko bie boka ko bie barbering shop oba you ti ana osesa ko. So me anytime my mom took me to barbering shop, she makes sure say baba no be praho or praha to say nim say hwia better for me aye me de na wa pra na de ko. See, I didn't really understand
what she was doing.
So I grew up and I was like, hey God, this woman, it was funny, but it was a very important thing she really did. Now, let me go to Nigeria. So yesterday, the moment I opened TikTok, the first thing that
popped
up was a lady advising that anytime you are going to a health facility, no matter what you are going to do, even if it's for malaria, go with someone. And she said that don't just go with anyone, go with an advocate, go with someone who has a touch of shaggy, someone who can create a scene, someone who can cause problems, someone who knows what he or she is doing. And most importantly, she also said, take someone who knows a little bit about the field, someone who asks questions. What are you giving to this person? What medicine is that? What does it do? What is it used for? That is what she said. So I didn't really understand until I went to do my research and I got to know that there's a hospital in Nigeria. When you are pregnant, especially with these people who go with CS. Most of the time, CS don't say more opinions. So
Yeah,
we don't really know
yeah.
what you are doing. I say a hospital, no, there's a small window there. And so, whoa, papa na no my exchange, no more de dia.
Onye
Well,
papa.
or someone shut down your papa, no more de naba. So they've exchanged your child. So they bring a child that is not normal or a child that is dead
Or disabled.
something like that. Normally they sell Kolanaba and they sell that child for 3 million naira. 3 million naira. Now, sir, what is going on in this health facilities? I call it saying Ghana pay, and Ghana pay just a baby So it got me to understand what the young lady was saying.
Okay.
And looking at the issue of this no birth syndrome in Ghana and issue of people this nurses injecting unprescribed medicines, it boils down to what she said.
Right.
Go with an advocate. Go with someone who knows what to do. Me, if you send me, I'll cause chaos because me, I'm cracker. I had a friend who got sick. Malaria and typhoid all mixed together. I said it didn't know so that day they PA and we went to a hospital as Odoko. Is it Odoko top towns or Odoko south? Something Odoko. We went there. These nurses were working majestically. My body was just doing bra bra bra. I was like, oh God, what is this? I kept calm, and he was like, Reggie, calm. And I was like, whoa, now me person me command you are telling me to be calm because at that point he was weak, he was dehydrated because he had vomited some. And I approached one nurse, say, we've come. You can see that this person is dying. You are not doing anything about it. And she, mom, she started shouting at me. You don't know that you're supposed to go and take care. And I said, you're an idiot. You don't know that you're supposed to administer first aid. Am I the one to teach you your job? When someone comes and the person is dying, you don't think about a hospital card. You take the person. Now with the insuation, so for the person to regain his or her strength. Before you tell the person who came with that person, say, this is the protocol you need to follow.
Right.
Go here and do this. Go here and do that. But she was expecting us to go straight to the counter and take hospital card before they do anything on him. He he stabilized. Now I treat pneumonia. Now the pneumonia collapse. What is wrong with him? But no. That day, I'm not sure if I go there again though. Take me in. I caused the scene. I got angry. It got to a point where almost all the nurses they were angry at me. I was like, I don't care. So far as you are doing the right thing, that is what I need. Because at the end of the day, I am paying for that services.
It's not
we
for
left
free.
there almost 1,500 Ghana cedis because no insurance. And when we wanted to renew that, because in my front, Ghana, a woman renewed her insurance. But when it got to us, they said, no, we can't renew.
Because of what you did.
I was like, I don't
telling them
care.
the truth.
I don't care. When you renew, it's 5 cedis. I was like, I don't care. See, these nurses, we always praise private hospitals.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you today for a fact, because that hospital was a private hospital, some of them are, excuse me to say, they are senseless. Out of all the private hospitals we have in Ghana here, they are really doing a good job. But if I'm supposed to rate that hospital, our rate is 0.0% because
That's bad.
it was bad. Their experience was bad. To a point where they wanted money first. It was a no-no for me.
That is what they do.
That's
money first.
Money first before the person's life.
Yeah.
Say nipa ni wu asika no benya we he.
You see, that is because some of these patients tend to run after they are being treated. After they are being, I've seen one before. The woman went to deliver, and then after you are done putting to birth, you are supposed to pay. You don't just go. Because they've administered some medicines to you during birth and all that. The child will be given some injections before you send him or her to the house. And this woman, after she gave birth and then she realized that she wasn't having the money and all that, she placed the baby in a bucket. And then she carried it as if she was going to bath. You know when you're going to bath, no one is going to force you. Where are you sent? And then she ran.
She doesn't have the money.
You see, so this is some of the reasons why sometimes these nurses act aggressively, but that is not also a factor.
Bam. Okay, I get it. Why should you use 1 scenario, 2 scenario, 3 scenario to determine what the current person is there to do? You shouldn't do that. You are a health practitioner.
Right.
Especially with this government hospitals, the patient should even come first
before the
money, because we are a government institution.
Right.
The patient should come first before money. But no, they themselves are greedy more than the private hospitals. And any little thing they want to take money. Any little thing they want to take money. And sometimes I'll call some of these government institutions. We use this NHIS card.
Yeah.
But most of them will tell you that they don't use it.
It doesn't
today.
cover. It doesn't cover the drugs. It covers
Now,
only para.
My dear, para. Para penebe cover. Para, you can buy it yourself.
Yeah.
But this NHIS card should cover certain sensitive issues that the ordinary Ghanaian cannot settle or pay for. So with this government hospitals, most of them are negligent. Most of them, and they are also careless. To say, I say, the generation of this health practitioners are not interested in saving lives.
Yeah, so this brings my next question. Are we in safe hands?
We are not in safe hands, because say I will call TikToker, go and search for failed hospital results. You get a lot. A normal human being like me will go to the hospital and come back disabled. How is that possible? Obi obi ne nine back on was shown about co for me on until say Obeka trust say ya won ne panie no man won ye and na ama ne nine no edi them. We have others too. The moment they receive certain injections, then automatically they get stroke. It is not supposed to be like that. See, we are not in safe hands. And it looks like the Ministry of Health is not doing anything about it. We have a lot of nurses who are just in the house doing nothing. Instead of them to employ those people, because those people are not Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Those people are adults who really wanted the job.
Right.
But no, they are not employing them. They are employing these little ones. Okoye 6 months course, okoye 3 months course. Omako 4 months 2 hospital. And now I say nurses automatically have become doctors.
Yes.
But doctor course and nurse course are two different things. Nurse to me BBA. And I say they teach you everything, but not 100% everything, so that when you go and find yourself in an emergency situation, you know a fair knowledge on what to do to revive the person.
Right.
Me, Southern PFN is saying, is it CPR? I know how to do CPR. So be trashing now, don't say me.
Yeah.
I've been taught, because I don't know
it was even taught in schools.
I don't know where I'll find myself one day as So what if we are all there, no one knows nothing to do? That person will die.
Yeah.
But we've been taught, and I think they should also serve as a caution to the Ministry of Health. I think it's time that they teach this petty things between all this for the public to know about. Yes, and put it that way. The public will know that, oh, when this thing happens, this is what we are supposed to do. So with the health facilities or the sector of health, it is more dangerous. The health sector has become very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. It is more than a occult. Because of course our health sector it's almost like everything is in existence there. Omo ton konforma obi a won ba
9 months.
But then 9 months in Podi anywho. I quite say 10 months, 11 months. Now Kolani Shenipani ye more bre or bro.
And they are quiet.
Then they always say me.
Some are chewing gum and they have phone on TikTok.
Watching TikTok.
Yeah.
Now, simple dear. It should be hard for us to see you in your uniform on social media. But now
the profession is not professional.
Military, but this is almost almost say because military.
But it's not common with the military. Like
it is common with the military. As in the uniform
for no yet TikTok no
but say because military put there you should not see anything military on TikTok. The only thing I'm supposed to do is see is probably on my call for operation and on my pictures and they've posted it general.
Yeah.
But see an individual to me for phone seeing the name no you just TikTok or done it
the uniform
will put it on. Oh, it is becoming bad. I think it is high time they sanitize the system.
Yeah.
That health system, they need to sanitize it. So more short test, more short test because symptoms of malaria no.
Oni me say what happened to me sister?
That they can go and agree with you because why would you take a medicine once you've not been tested for?
Just say, and no, what was doing me as at that moment was so intense, and like I don't want to use the word that I was dying, but it was so tense that I couldn't do anything. The only thing that I could do was crying, like to cry. And then this lady was like, "You, when I see you with what you are saying, take this medicine." And I was like,
she has a vision.
So I called my cousin, hey, send those drugs. You can't take those drugs because it might not be malaria. Malaria has similar symptoms with typhoid and other drugs as well. So you see, that really saved me. And you see, because the deed has already been done, my colleague told me that...
So you paid?
I paid for it. I paid almost 100 cedis. Almost 100 cedis.
So are you okay now?
In a way, I'm better. When I went back for the treatment with my colleague who is a nurse at Kolebu, she told me that because I've started treatment, even if she should conduct a test, it wouldn't show. It will show the treatment of the medicine I'm taking.
Would show.
Yeah. So after I'm done with the medication, then I can come so that I conduct a test and know what exactly is wrong. So please, we are begging you. You are killing us. So I'm telling you the truth. They nearly killed my dad for me. It is God. So please, we are begging you. The right thing should be done. Just as Miss Regina said, please, we are begging you. I don't know whether we should also attribute this to systemic failure. The Ministry of Health, we are begging you. Strict supervision and monitoring is really needed. Some of these nurses should be used as an scapegoat. If not, we are just beating around the bush. So the right thing should be done. The number of people who are dying day in, day out as a result of the negligence of these health practitioners is becoming uncountable. Yeah. Okay. Then I think we will end it here and then our next guest will come in. Then we take it from there. Miss Regina, thank you for passing through.
Thank you too.
Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? Lose views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Only on GhanaTalks radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune.
Thank you so much for joining us again on the second segment of the Breakfast Show on Ghana Talks Radio. We have in our guest the NDC Communications Team member, Mudasri Brahima, joining us right here in the studio. Mr. Brahima, good morning. How are you doing? Okay, thank you for joining us. Our time is fast spent, and so we are not going to waste much time. We'll delve into our topics for this morning. So the minority boycott the Bank of Ghana's briefing. Somewhere along the week, we saw something very interesting in Parliament, and that has to do with the governor of the Bank of Ghana was supposed to brief us on some sensitive issues, but then it didn't happen because they said it was supposed to be in private, in camera, but the minority was also demanding it to be on camera. But then the majority leader also say, if you read the Order of Parliament, that is Order 266, all proceedings are supposed to be in public, unless maybe the committee decides that, well, we don't want it to be in public, we want it to be in private. And so they said they wanted the minority to convince them enough. Why do you want it public? You come and convince us, say something. Let us talk behind bars, and then from there we take it on. But then they just walked out just like that. And because we do not want to be biased, we don't want to sit and then say something that is out of the way. And so I have in my panelists, my knowledgeable panelist of that. He is going to delve more into that. And so, Ms. Brahima, with regards to what happened in Parliament previously, I think that is July 15. Tell us more. Was that right?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say a very good morning to you and to your cherished listeners and viewers as well. And also apologize for coming late.
That's
from
fine.
this traffic because I set out early today, but I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
We had to delay on the road that much. Since it's public transport, I cannot control it anyway.
I get it.
I think that what's happened in Parliament is just a shared display of politicking by the minority side.
Oh, you see it as politics.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, your rules are clear. Independent constitutional bodies usually don't have their committee meetings. We have a committee called the Whole Committee, WHOLE, Whole Committee, that's probe into the affairs of some of these independent bodies, and that includes the National Health Insurance Authority. Have you ever heard of any committee, Parliament committee, probing the NIA boards before?
No.
Because those people, they don't make it public, their affairs.
Okay.
However they probe them, they do it in camera. The EC boards, have you ever had Parliament interrogate,
No.
except when it's during elections?
Yeah.
That's a typical example. The District Assembly Common Fund, the boss over there, the executive director, they don't make such inquiries or committee sittings public. And that is because the Parliament's own rules or standing orders says that these independent bodies, we are not going to make it public. The previous times where they made it public was because of the nature of the issue then, with regards to the Bank of Ghana new headquarters that was peddled by, the NPP people going about with their propaganda that the Bank of Ghana wanted to, sell its new headquarters.
Okay.
Those are issues that you can easily bring to the public. But when it comes to the policy initiative, when it comes to how the Bank of Ghana is operationalizing, there are certain things that you must not make public. We were here when His Excellency, the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, told us that he can't pay the day because he knew the impact of speculation on the exchange rates.
Okay.
So when people, ordinary you and I, who may not understand some of the terms of the Bank of Ghana, take certain things out of context, we are tempted to perhaps draw some conclusions which may not be true because of our limited knowledge on how they operationalize as an institution, as an independent institution. And so for that matter, to guard the achievement we have achieved jealously since we came into power 2025 January, we need to keep that momentum and to prevent further misinformation or, let's say, what would I call it, perceptions that may not be true in the dealings of the Bank of Ghana. And I think it is fair. If after the committee sitting, of which we have minority members, they want to brief the media of what happened at the sitting, they are free to. You just need to be just and honest in your presentation and say what actually went on during the committee sitting. You understand? For a number that has zero to no influence in Parliament's dealings when it comes to even passing laws or passing bills, you're working out as what? It's nothing. I mean, you protest and walk out when your constituents have brought you there to represent them and to talk for them, and you are working out. Your working out has no effect on the decision that was taken. You understand? Yours is that, yes, the questions were put by Kojopo Nkrumah on how the Bank of Ghana is operating, how it is managing the FX, the exchange rate. We understand they don't understand because they've not been able to manage it, and it is fair. So they want to learn how it is done. Maybe if Ghanaians perhaps in future ever give the NPP a chance, they will learn from Dr. Isiama to be able to manage our exchange rate. But so far so good. I mean, we've been able to manage the currency for half this year. Almost we're going to like half of the year. We've crossed half of the year.
Yeah.
There's not been any hullabaloo about the exchange rate. I'm surprised. Everybody's okay with the exchange rate. I used to come here to say that people are not concerned about even the rising of the exchange rate, but people are concerned about its sustainability, about its maintenance, about its level. Because in times past, you wake up today, it is 11 cities, tomorrow it is 12 cities. That is a collapse of people's businesses, because these are, these are the things that influence how people operate their daily lives.
Okay.
You understand? People go to import their goods, people go to export their goods. The exchange rate is a very great determinant of how these things operationalize. So at the end of the day, in times past where we will get up there, and one is 12 cities, another is 13 cities, perhaps maybe I have prepared my 1,000 cities, going in exchange of $100. Then I go, then they say, oh, $1 to the cedi is no longer 10 cities, 11 cities. You are making me go through a hardship that I didn't prepare for. But for now, thanks to the good works of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC and Governor Isiama as well for his hard work at the Bank of Ghana, unprecedented. For a whole year and a half, 15 months going to 16 months, there has not been much conversation about the exchange rate. People are okay, Ghanaian people are feeling it. Our businesses are going on well.
But you know there is increments in fuel.
That's a different issue if we want to go in that angle. But right now, what we are discussing, it is the exchange rate, which is a major influence on businesses in this country. If we are going to talk about the increment in fuel and whatever, but it has not reached.
I said that because they said there is some sort of, I think, 0.5% reduction of the cedi to the dollar.
That you see, we are now making a point that at the end of the day, people have seen sustainable governance. People have seen that things have maintained at a level where we are able to manage and we know how we are dealing about. The cedi has been hovering around 11 Ghana cedis for far too long.
Okay.
You understand? And so people are feeling this impact. People know that once it is sustainable, if I'm preparing my dollars to go for a cedi, if I'm preparing my cedi to go for dollars, I am within this range and I am okay. You understand?
Yeah.
The fuel price that we are talking about is fluctuating. Sometimes it will go down, sometimes it will go up. We've experienced it before. In the last quarter, we have a reduction in the fuel price. Why didn't they say that? The government took the cost of 1 liter of fuel when the Iran and US war was happening. Why didn't they applaud the government for doing such good things? Is it that they're always ready when things go bad, then you want to just talk about it? No, you should be an opposition or a minority that wants the good of the people. When the government does good, you praise it. When the government does bad, that's where you have the opportunity to be able to rebuke the person, and the person will listen to you. But if you sit down and your interest is just that, oh, we just focus on the bad things. I don't. When I do good and you don't praise me, don't think that I'll take your criticism for anything, because I'll feel that your criticism is just to inure to your benefit for you to come into power. That's what you're just interested about, not for the good of the people. So at the end of the day, Parliament has taken its decision, and the minority need to rally behind and educate their constituents. To let people know that at the end of the day, this is what our standing orders have always been. This has been the practice. And examples like I cited, the NHI boss, nothing. EC boss, the District Assembly Command for Administrator, we don't even hear about their sittings with Parliament. But it goes on, you understand? And so the Bank of Ghana governor is no special thing or no new thing that has been implemented.
The Bank of Ghana didn't breach the law of the standing orders.
Bank of Ghana doesn't even have to interfere in the operations of Parliament anyway. I am setting myself as an institution. You have posed some questions for me to answer. And according to your own laws, you are entitled to make it in camera or not. But at the end of the day, the standing order says that independent constitutional bodies, of which my institution, Bank of Ghana, is part of it. You understand? And you, my parliamentarians, or let's say the parliamentarians on the government side, say we want it in camera because that has been the practice. And the questions that he is coming to answer are sensitive. We feel that are sensitive, that it shouldn't go into the public because of the successes we have chalked so far. And so for that matter, we feel that if they come to be interviewed, they come to be questioned, they may raise certain things that perhaps we don't want the public to know about. You understand?
Yeah.
Or we know how people will take certain things out of context. And so for that matter, if the minority, they need to sit. Once they sit in the what do you call it? In the committee meeting, they can come and brief their constituents on what happened, what went on. You understand? And we are okay with it. You understand? So it shouldn't be a big deal. What people are looking at for is for good governance, is for their livelihoods to be improved.
Okay.
You understand? And everything that we have talked so far, the success we have talked so far, today we are doing a single-digit inflation. That is the good ways of good governance. That is what the people are interested in. Insofar as the processes are all legal and they are going, what is wrong? So I think they just made, they're just making a fuss out of nothing, and this is something that we shouldn't, tolerate it from them.
So if the parliament feels sidelined, what are the proper mechanisms to address it instead of a boycott on the side of the minority?
Oh, but they know best. There are certain ways, there are so many ways of making your case known and convincing the other side to side with you. Because the parliament is a house of representatives. You are representing the people.
Right.
And you understand? And it's by political affiliation that we have the majority and minority. So if you want someone to side with you, you need to lobby your way out of it. You need to convince the other side to also believe in what you think it is right. Because if you feel that, the public must know, the public must be aware, then you must also, convince the other side why you think with your strong points. You understand? But if you are not succeeding in that, the boycott you have done, it has zero to no influence to whatever decision that has been taken.
So does that mean that it's not going to influence the...
in times past, we've seen NDC walk out on so many occasions, but...
and bills were being passed.
They were being passed and done how they want it to be done. You understand? And so for that matter, how Parliament operates is that once the decision has been taken and your numbers do not affect the outcome of a certain bill or processes, then we are good to go. You understand the point? We are good to go. And so for that matter, what the minority are doing, like I said, is just mere politicking, seeking to be relevant and always be in the news. You know, when we get up and we are minority, we think about NPP. They just want the people to still be thinking about them. They don't want us to forget about them because of their, their micro minority numbers in the house. And so we understand that they always want to be seen as, doing something. They seem to be in the news for people to be aware that there is still a political party that exists. We understand them, but the good people of Ghana know that at the end of the day, it is the NDC that has their problems at heart, and we are solving it, and gradually we will get there.
So what are the key issues that the Bank of Ghana was supposed to brief the parliament on?
I think when I looked at some of the questions that Kojo Nkrumah raised, where he was just asking about how the Bank of Ghana is intervening in the FX market, that's the foreign exchange market, and being able to sustain. And that's why I earlier on said that they don't know how it is done. And so for that matter, they want to learn.
But these are people that have been in parliament for so many years.
But they couldn't use it to support their previous government for us to feel the sustainability that we are feeling. They should have used the knowledge they had. You understand? If they don't understand how the interventions are being worked on, how the Bank of Ghana comes to intervene to make sure that we balance our FX market, our foreign exchange for the good of the people. You can simply write to the letter to the Bank of Ghana governor that, please, we want to learn how you did it, so that in case in future, in the unforeseeable future, if the people decide to ever change their mind to give NPP, we're able to deliver and deliver well like you are doing. You understand? So I think those were the things, and they did discuss what they would like to know about is operationalization and all that. But basically, just about how the Bank of Ghana intervened in the foreign exchange market, how much money we are, they say we are pumping and whatever. But I don't know, the impact is felt by every Ghanaian. That is what matters. If I am using the people's money to do something good, that is what matters. You understand? I think they also spoke about the reservation, that there's a reduction of $2 billion out of the $14 billion that they left, and currently there's a $12 billion reserve. So the Bank of Ghana can explain that one as well. That is fair enough. But in the case where we feel that once the Bank of Ghana governor comes to explain these things, people may take it out of context. We'll reserve it, make it quietly. Afterwards, if they want to come and inform the public, they are entitled to do that and do it rightly. You understand? No one will stop them. Yeah.
But the minority also claim they are doing that because they want to promote transparency and accountability. Do you see that as true, or they are just using that as a camouflage?
Oh, well, that is their opinion. But the government is not running away from accountability or transparency. The government is open to, everyone who can share anything. If any ordinary Ghanaian feels you want to know something, there's right to information bill. It has been passed, so you just write to the institution, request it for the information that you want to know, and then you are good to go. You understand? And so for that matter, we have entrusted our our trust in these people, which is the NDC government as a whole. Let me put it that way. And they have appointed people who are in authority, who believe can deliver. The people are delivering. You understand? And we are seeing it as miracle, and perhaps we want to know. And they feel that, oh, I understand you want to know. But from the expert view, as an expert or someone whom you have given your mandate to, I'm driving the bus. I feel if I let you know, you may juggle up the bus. You may, out of miracle, you may see wonders and you disturb my movements. And so for that matter, you have entrusted me with your resources. Allow me to move the car how you want it. You are feeling the good impact. As and when it's necessary for me to let you know, I will do so. Okay. But it is right. We are in a democracy, we're in a governance where we'll have people with opposing views who think that things will be made public and all that. It's fair enough. But I don't know, the as and when the government of the day truly also feel that this is a time we'll let you know things. You are free to, and every individual has the right to inquire, to get to know what he or she, our resources are being used for. So I support the call. It's fair, but they shouldn't behave as if they don't know the rules or the standard orders of Parliament. And this is nothing new. And so for that matter, if they go on a committee sitting and they feel they want to come and brief their people or their constituents, you are free to do this. No one gag you from doing so, you understand? And we already know them. By the end of the meeting, they would have come out to do a press conference as usual. And maybe they will tell us the number of press conferences they've done. Maybe press conference
which clearly means you were not surprised when you saw them briefing the media after they staged a walkout
obviously.
from Parliament.
My majority will always have their way, and the minority will also have their say. And so for your say to be taken, you need to convince them. But if you don't succeed and you boycott and you walk out, your constituents are watching you, whether they brought you to Parliament to be walking out or to make an impact and to try to convince the other side to side with you. So it's as simple as that.
But should that always be the case?
No, well, we cannot dictate to them how they want to push their agenda. You understand? As they said it, as they boycotted, they are in the news, right? Perhaps that's their agenda. They just want to be in the news for no particular reason, because this is not something that is against the law. You understand? It's not against any legal principle. It's not against your parliamentary rudiments. So what is they working out for? You understand?
Yeah.
If you're unable to side with the people, okay, is there any other ways? Let's discuss. Let's say that in Georgia, is there any other ways where we can let the public be aware? You understand? Oh, if you're not going to do it in camera, at least maybe we can say, first session, we'll talk about this, which we feel may not be sensitive to the people, then that one is fine. Second session, we can do it closed doors. You understand? So it's not as if they don't know. They know. That's why I'm saying that they are doing it deliberately. It's usual politicking, because these people know that there are several ways and so many ways of doing certain things. And so for that matter, once they want to only stay relevant, they need to just do the usual politicking. And that's why I feel it's been the case as at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. I think we will move on to our next story. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is pushing amendment to the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, to curb the duration of mining leases at 20 years. So initially it was 30 years, but now they've reduced it to 20 years. Do you see that as a right step in the right direction, Mr. Brima?
I think they should even reduce it to 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10.
I mean, we see.
Is it still too much?
I think they know best. But I am not, how will I say, I don't have enough information on perhaps how the mining companies have done well in terms of maybe experts advice and whatever the ministry have received a briefing, for which they have capped it at 20 years. But I feel it should even be less. You see, we need to see the impact of these mining companies. Most of them are foreign companies. You understand? The last time Honorable Eric J, the CEO of National Entrepreneurship Innovative Program, was talking about it, that the Goldfields, which is a South African company, has been mining in our various communities.
Yeah.
What has been the impact of those mining communities? How many of them have set up schools? How many schools? How many boreholes? When you go and look at even some of the roads that they even drive on, it's serious. It's pathetic. You go into mining communities and you don't even know how such communities are so deprived of basic social amenities: electricity, water, common social amenities that should have been available to these communities for their well-being. And they're always relying on government and calling on government for their roads and whatever. And so for that matter, we need to even cap it at a stage where perhaps 5 years before you can come and renew your life, and we'll know the impact you have made in the communities. Look at the Damang's mine that they've given to Ibrahim Mahmoud, the brother of the president. He has clearly demonstrated that the communities in which you even go to mine, they matter. They should be part of the contract. That once you go into such communities, we should even add into some of the contracts before we lease it to you. You are supposed to construct their roads, this number of kilometers. You're supposed to give them this number of boreholes, mechanized one. You're supposed to give them this number of schools, educational materials, some of these things. Because at the end of the day, they come to mine. We take our gold royalties of just small, maybe 5 to 10%. We don't even get enough. Then they sell many abroad and go and develop their countries. Whilst we sit here and starve, whilst our people here, are deprived of basic social amenities. So at the end of the day, I support the call. We should keep reducing it. Honestly, we should keep reducing it, and let's see the impact of those mining communities, the mining companies, before we renew. It shouldn't be automatic renewal. The fact that you are in the mining communities, the fact that you have renewed it this year or for the last 10 years, the next years we should renew it again. It shouldn't be so. We should be able to fight against such things. And I want to really praise the lands minister for taking this step, for taking this initiative and this policy direction to the cabinet. And cabinet has approved it, and we are going to implement it as a law to make sure that mining leases are capped at 20 years, so that we will really have the impact. We should be able to assess them. It should not always be that every 20 years just renew automatically. Within the 20 years, a newborn baby would have grown up to 20 years.
Yeah.
What impact have you made on the life of that person? What educational structure have you provided? What infrastructure have you provided to the communities in which you are mining? We are talking about gold, though. Gold, just an ounce of it, what it can do to just our community, your area, to an individual. That's why even some of us we thought that perhaps the NPP would have gone forward with their 1 million, one constituency per constituency, $1 million. If every constituency in Ghana had $1 million, I don't know why we won't travel abroad for greener pastures. Because I don't know, they would have had value for money. We would have had this $1 million doing almost everything in this country. 275 each, $1 million, $275 million. We can simply, we wouldn't have any problem. That's how I won't see it. The government will not even have to even be passing budget and water, because I know this $1 million can do so many things, can construct roads, can give us boreholes. But I know that we are in a country where bribery and corruption becomes the bane of the day. Because if this money were really channeled into the right pockets, the right people, the right leaders in place, we wouldn't be here talking about communities still deprived of social amenities. But it is sad, but it is commendable that, I mean, and the government has taken this initiative. And that is why the NDC has always proven to be the right political party to lead this nation. Let us not bring back any political party that will send this nation backwards. We have proven, our track record is there, that we are the ones that are supposed to be given the opportunity to serve the people. And our records are there. Today, example is Achimota Forest. It has been, I mean, given back to the state. You have some people who willed them to their kids. You have some people who sold them to people to be able to go inside and mine. And you see, some of the policy directions that were implemented or passed by the previous government, you think about it and you wonder. Because I don't know what was the impact of those mining communities or mining companies that were given the opportunity to mine in the forest reserves. What was the impact? The Achimota Forest, the mining company that was granted the lease to go into mining. Have we assessed them? How far were they able to mine? How impactful have they been to the Achimota enclave, to the communities, surrounding communities, to the school, the Achimota school? What have they donated to the school? Yet they just dig our resources, give us our share of 5 to 10%, then they are out of the country. Which is very, very bad. And so, for that matter, we commend the minister, we commend the government, and we commend all who were involved to make sure that this comes into reality. But some of us, we still believe that the number of years should still be capped and should still be reduced, because at the end of the day, the impact of those mining companies must be felt by the people.
Right.
You understand? Because in all these things, it is the resources of the country which is born out of the suffering of the ordinary people, the ordinary trotro mate, the driver, the teacher, the nurse, the doctor. All these people pay taxes. The formal sector, all these people, it is their resources that we are using. We go to buy fuel every day, who translate into the transport fares. We are paying taxes indirectly. We go to buy food. When you go to restaurant, you have so many taxes on our food that we buy. If they remove some of the taxes, one day we went to Malco to do some shopping. We just bought the things up to 60 cities. When we deducted the taxes, we were at 30 cities, half of the items that we bought. So I don't know, it tells you the impact of some of these taxes even on our lives. We give out more, yet we receive less. You understand? And so for that matter, that's why every Ghanaian has to have an interest in politics. Because these are the things that really determine our fate as a country. These are the things that impact our lives directly. Because you may sit alone and say you're not interested. Someone came to sell Achimota Forest out of the bloom. Today, another one has returned it. What shows that this government is not one that we must always trust with our votes? What shows that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is not the rightful person to lead this country? You understand? You have sold it. People have gone into mine. What was the impact? What was the impact assessment? You understand? Today, as we are capping our 20 years, we need us to, as a government, make sure that we're able to assess it. In the next 20 years, if the NDC happen to be in government, these are the things that I'm sure that, will be brought about, where we need to investigate and make sure that companies that are into mining have really done the needful. The roads that their heavy trucks are applying, are they well tarred? It should be added to their contracts. You understand? You shouldn't have to wait for the government to add it to its budgetary allocation. These people must be given the opportunity to construct the road. And when they are constructing world-class roads, because this is gold that we are dealing with. We cannot have a country. We have gold, diamond, bauxite, cocoa. What else? Yet we are suffering. Yet we are still classified under a developing country. That should not happen again. And so for that matter, I believe that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, once we have been able to implement this policy direction, we should be able to assess these mining companies. That at the end of the day, if you are leasing lands to people to develop, if you are leasing lands to these companies, they have their resources. Let us add the basic social amenities to the contract. They should be able to give the people at least potable drinking water. They should give them access to electricity. They should be able to give them roads. They should be able to construct common classrooms to add up to their numbers to reduce the overcrowding in some of the schools. They should be able to give them hospitals, CHIPS compound. These are common and basic things that should be available to every community in Ghana. Because when you look at some of the problems in Ghana, people don't want much. People should be able to just go and get their daily bread, be able to eat, go to work, come back, and we are free. You understand? Someone was saying, oh, if you want, you guys can give us these social media and continue to chop in the money because we don't care. But make sure that you put in these measures. Make sure that the well-being of the people are being catered for. People are not asking for much. You understand? And so for that matter, that's why I am very proud of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC for the policy interventions that we have put in. Currently, His Excellency is at the Volta region, touring the country. He has even announced 16,000 recruitments into the health sector by nurses. And it's a good initiative. You understand? We're to get these nurses to be recruited into our health institutions and our hospitals. And so for that matter, if we put into the contract of these mining companies to be able to get us these hospitals and this healthcare, people will be able to go there. You understand? When you post a nurse to a rural area, the person will be feeling comfortable to go there because he knows that my network connectivity is assured, internet, my potable water is assured, there is electricity, there are good roads, there are hospitals that I can easily walk into or feel comfortable. Why aren't they usually accepting, posting to these communities? It's because of how deprived they are of basic things that we get over here in town. You understand? Be able to get transportation from one place to another. If the roads are good, people are okay. People can commute from one place to another with less transportation fee, because if the road is bad, the taxi driver or the trotro mate will add into the cost of it because it is destroying his or her car. Every week he or she must go to a mechanic, add it to the cost of the transportation fee. But if it is reduced, everyone will feel that kind of convenience. Everyone will feel that kind of comfort. It will impact even on our livelihood. What we give out, the monies we give will be reduced. So I am happy that the government is making progress. Gradually we'll get there. Okay. It's not an event, and that is why we need to make sure we put the right people in place to work for us. That's why we need to make sure that we elect proper leaders to lead us into in the affairs of this country. And that is why the NDC has continued to remain the best choice for the Ghanaian people in electing good governors for this country. Because if not, the other people who came, they were there. All they were interested in is create, loot and share. One district, one factory, zero. One constituency, $1 million, zero. Which one of them? He came with so many slogans.
One constituency, 1 million.
Nothing happened. The impact of those policies, what happened? Brilliant ideas, I agree. One district, one factory. Yes. There are no factories within our districts. We thought he was coming to build from scratch. Then you said, oh, you are going to give incentives to factories that have already been established. What did we see? You understand? So the poor implementation of these policies have been a distraction of this country, has retarded us 20 years back. Okay. And so we are in to make sure that proper governance is felt, and it is felt by all today. And so for that matter, we commend the government for this policy initiative. Okay. And we hope and pray that we continue to get the trust of the people to know that the NDC is the best choice. The NDC is the only political party that has the country at heart. And we'll continue to implement policy directions that will be able to move this country forward and beyond.
Okay. And Mr. Boima, in a seconds before we go, the reduction of the mining lease, is it going to drive away investors, attract them, or maybe in a way improve governance?
Well, we care about the people, about the impact of your service to the country. You understand? If investors feel that 20 years mining lease is not enough, they can look elsewhere. We shouldn't be pampering people of our own land.
Okay.
You understand? We shouldn't be pampering people of our own land because they are interested in our lands. They are interested in coming to mind because they know what they will get from us. We should also be able to stand on our toes and insist on our rights and insist on the well-being of the people. You understand? If you continue to say, oh, it will drive away investors and drive away investors, if the investor is a human being like us, and also know that you are coming to a country that will give you so much resources. We are not asking for much. With $1 million, you can even construct roads, hospitals, schools, chips compound for the communities without even feeling a pinch in the profit that you are going to get from us. You understand? We should always insist on getting value for money in this country. We discovered lithium recently. Until this government came, the lithium, what do you call it, during that was past previous, was worse. We couldn't get enough, share of the profit because we continue to say that we don't have the technical know-how, we don't have the technology, we have the infrastructure to process our gold and whatever. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is currently telling us that we are looking forward by 2030, we want to process our own gold in this country. Okay. We want to process everything. And you see, all the monies we are giving out, if we're even saving it somewhere, we want to have companies set up our own factories to be able to process our own raw materials. The white person comes to take our cocoa. We go to deliver our cocoa to the white person. He goes to process it to chocolate and bring it to us for our consumption. What kind of double this thing that we are doing? They'll come and take our raw materials because we say we don't have. From 19 cocoa up to now, Ghana has no processing factory for our cocoa. What are we doing to ourselves? We need to get to a point where we insist for value for money. That if you indeed value that Ghana is going to give you value, that Ghana is going to give you the impact that you want as an investor, you should be able to support the community in which you find yourself in. Right. How difficult should that be? You understand? How difficult is that? That's why some of us believe that we need to have leaders who should be able to have that boldness, be radical in some of these and tell them to the face. If you not do, go. We'll have people who reason with us. You understand? If an investor comes and he doesn't want to reason with us, that we add some of these, social amenities to the contract. And so for that matter, the small percentage of the profit that you give us in constructing our roads, our water bodies, our schools, our hospitals, you see, we shouldn't be sensitive to the plight of the people. That you are mining gold in the community, where you get up and see children in tattered clothes. You see children who are in overcrowded classroom. You see children as drinking from the streams and rivers. How would you feel as an individual? Not to talk of such huge companies that gain so much revenue from this country, so much money from them, although they pay their taxes once a while, they pay their taxes once a while. That is not enough. Honestly, that is not enough. They must be given more responsibility. Okay. Aside paying your taxes, you must be able to at least give us these basic social amenities. You understand? So for me, I understand. There are some, investors that it might drive away. We agree. We should forcefully stand on our toes. Okay. You understand? And the well-being of the people, it should be our priority as a government and as a nation as well.
Okay, your final words.
Well, I would like to say a good morning to Era Adams Karim. He's contesting for Deputy National Communications Officer for the NDC, and also the incoming National Chairman, Honorable Neil Lante Van Der Poy. Very good man. And currently, Musa Dankwa released posts ahead of the NDC National Chairmanship, and Honorable Neil Lante Van Der Poy has taken the lead. He's the grassroots favorite, and I know that come December, the grassroots will be able to reward him. And also to Honorable Rashid Pelpo, the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations. He has also been doing a very good job at his ministry. And not forgetting George Opariado, the Minister of Youth and Empowerment. He has also been doing his bit, working with the Labour Ministry and bringing about this Work Abroad Summit as well. Recently, he launched one of them, and Ghanaians will be able to go and work in Germany and under the auspices of the government. And lastly, the CEO of NEPA, that's National Entrepreneurship Innovative Program. He donated about 100,000 Ghana cedis to cashew farmers in German North. And so for that matter, these are the people that are also doing their bit for the growth of this country. And so when we get the opportunity, we need to always encourage them, send our greetings to them, and wish them well.
Okay, so you heard from Mr. Brahima Mudasri. Now, before we go, a short one. The 20-year limit, they said, is being proposed because of accountability, dealing with shelf companies, revenue optimization, land reclamation, align with global best practices. Yes, some of these mining companies argue that 20 years is too short to recoup 500 million US dollars to 2 billion capital investment. They want bankability for financing. And you know, the workers in these communities are also they fear that the shorter lease is going to bring some sort of job uncertainty, and so the question keeps popping of what are the clear non-political benchmarks for this renewal. And I can boldly tell you that there are interesting days ahead. This segment has been so interesting and educative. We will follow this issue keenly and bring you latest update on this. As I said earlier on, you heard from Mr. Brahima Mudasri, NDC Communications team member, and I am Deborah Dosso. You also heard from Miss Regina Bless. Thank you so much for making time with us. Meet you same time on Monday. Bye.